Welcome back to In History. Throughout the centuries, blood has soaked the battlefields of ancient history. Empires rose and fell, kings met their fates, and thousands upon thousands of soldiers perished in the pursuit of power, glory, and survival. Today, we will explore some of the bloodiest battles that left an indelible mark on the ancient world. These battles were not just victories or defeats, they reshaped the course of history. Our first battle takes us to the plains of Cannae in 216 BCE, during the Second Punic War between the mighty Roman Republic and the cunning Carthaginian general Hannibal Barca. Hannibal, known for his strategic brilliance, had already dealt significant blows to the Romans. But at Cannae, he delivered what would become one of the most catastrophic defeats in Roman military history. With over 50,000 Roman soldiers marching to meet him, Hannibal employed a brilliant tactic: a double envelopment. His troops lured the Romans into the center of the battlefield and then surrounded them from all sides. The result: a bloodbath. Estimates suggest that up to 70,000 Roman soldiers were killed that day. The fields of Cannae were littered with bodies, and the Roman army was decimated. Yet, despite this horrific loss, Rome would eventually recover and continue its war against Carthage. Still, the Battle of Cannae stands as one of the bloodiest and most tactically impressive battles in ancient history. Next, we journey to the deserts of Mesopotamia, where Alexander the Great of Macedon faced the Persian king Darius III in one of the most significant and bloody battles of his conquests, the Battle of Gaugamela. In 331 BCE, Alexander's army, though heavily outnumbered, was renowned for its discipline and brilliant use of tactics. The Persian forces under Darius numbered in the hundreds of thousands, but sheer numbers could not match Alexander's genius. Using a mix of phalanx formations and a well-timed cavalry charge, Alexander broke through the Persian center, forcing Darius to flee the battlefield. Despite their overwhelming numbers, the Persian forces suffered massive casualties. Tens of thousands of Persian soldiers were killed. This battle not only marked the fall of the Persian Empire, but also cemented Alexander's legacy as one of history's greatest conquerors. The third battle on our list is perhaps one of the most famous in history: the Battle of Thermopylae, fought in 480 BCE during the Greco-Persian Wars. While the total number of soldiers involved might pale in comparison to others on this list, the ferocity and bloodshed over 3 days of battle made this clash legendary. King Xerxes of Persia led a massive force to invade Greece. Facing him were 7,000 Greek soldiers, including the famous 300 Spartans under King Leonidas. For 3 days, the Greeks held the narrow pass at Thermopylae, inflicting significant casualties on the Persians. But ultimately, a Greek traitor led the Persians around the pass, allowing them to flank Leonidas and his men. The Spartans fought to the last, sacrificing themselves to slow the Persian advance. Though the battle was lost, their stand at Thermopylae became a symbol of courage and resistance, and it rallied the Greek city-states to eventual victory. In 9 CE, the Roman Empire faced one of its greatest disasters in the dark, dense woods of Germania. The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest pitted 3 Roman legions under the command of Publius Quinctilius Varus against an alliance of Germanic tribes led by Arminius. The Romans, unfamiliar with the terrain, marched deep into the forest where they were ambushed by Arminius's forces. Over several days in rain-soaked forests and narrow paths, the Romans were relentlessly attacked, unable to form their typical battle lines. By the end of the battle, all 3 Roman legions, over 20,000 men, were annihilated. The loss was so catastrophic that the Romans never again attempted to conquer Germania east of the Rhine. The slaughter in the Teutoburg Forest marked a turning point for the Roman Empire. Finally, we turn to the year 451 CE, when the Roman Empire, now in decline, faced one of its greatest threats, Attila the Hun. At the Battle of Chalons, Roman forces allied with the Visigoths clashed with Attila's army in what would become one of the last major military engagements of the Western Roman Empire. The Huns, known for their savage tactics and fearsome reputation, met stiff resistance from the Romans and their allies. Both sides suffered heavy casualties, with estimates of the dead ranging from 30,000 to 50,000. Though the Romans claimed victory, the battle did not decisively defeat Attila, and the Western Roman Empire continued its slow collapse. But the bloodshed at Chalons remains a stark reminder of the ferocity of ancient warfare. These 5 battles represent just a glimpse of the bloodshed that shaped the ancient world. Each of them changed the course of history in profound ways, from the rise and fall of empires to the evolution of military tactics and leadership. The blood spilled on these battlefields paved the way for the world as we know it today.